Wow.
Okay folks, well welcome to a vlog. This is something I've wanted to talk about for quite a while. This is actually my comic collection, something I've not really sort of shared really much online, but this is sort of something that I've collected over the years. Now, I say years, I'm more of a graphic novel person, and you can see here this isn't a year's worth of collection, it really isn't. But I just want to sort of talk you through some of the cooler stuff that I've got. Now, we're actually going to start from the top down, because this top row are ones that I don't sort of read all the time, really. So to start off with, you've got Judge Dredd, Day of Chaos Endgame. This is quite a big series. Now, I've only recently got into Judge Dredd, really, but I've always had kind of a bit of an interest in the Dark Judges. So, I mean, the artwork in this is incredible. It's very, very dark, though, but it's a really, really, really cool graphic novel. This was what I got in my loot crate, which is still pretty cool. I never thought I'd really buy a Star Wars comic. I am a big Star Wars fan. But to me, what is important with comics is the artwork. I'm really, really picky. And I really, really like the artwork in this one. I think it's very cool. So that was a Loot Crate exclusive even, but it was really awesome. So that's one I can recommend. That one is actually out anyway. If anyone's got any recommendations about Judge Dredd, by the way, any recommendations on a particularly good storyline, I seem to like the ones more with the Dark Judges in. This one's got the Dark Judges in. I've not finished reading it yet, but I'm about halfway through. You've then got a Doctor Who one. Now, me and Rose got this from a com. It's actually signed, as you can see, by I can't remember his last name, Nick Abadazis, who I believe is the writer. Not really. I haven't read that one yet, actually, but considering I'm such a Whovian, I'm surprised I haven't. But still, I'll get around to it at some point. Now, Deadpool. Oh my god, I've just recently got into Deadpool. Now, I've always liked him as a character, but I've never really read the graphic novels. This is Dead Presidents, one of the famous ones. Hilarious, really, really good, very cool artwork. Very happy with my purchase on that one. I've also read. What else have I read? So I might as well just zoom in rather than getting out of breath leaning down. I've also read Deadpool vs Carnage, which is a really, really interesting one. I don't own that one, but Rose does. Now, this is another interesting one. This is the Transformers comic. Now, this was I don't think it was short-lived as such, but I only collected it for a little while. Now, I've got a few episodes. I've only got 3, I think. But what I have got, which I think is pretty cool, is that I've actually got. Hold on, I'll have to edit this to show you. I can't get it out of the protective cover. See, I've only got I've got the first episode and I've got number 6, I think it is. That's number 6, but you see these two side by side. Oh, do they do it? I can't remember if they do now. Oh, I'm talking out me bum. I seem to recall. Oh, there you go. It used to fold out, but maybe this one I've got is. Oh, I'm being thick. I used to think that. Oh, I'm talking absolutely out me bum. That's stupid. I was convinced this one folded out as well, and you had a massive montage, but I'm obviously wrong. For what it was worth, I really, really got into the. Got 250 Forbidden Planet. Wow, look at that. Back in the day, that is. Put all those back. Yeah, I got massively into the Transformers ones for a while. I'll put them away again in a minute. So the Transformers ones were very cool. Now you've come on to my sort of more recent purchases. I mean, that Judge Dredd one was fairly recent regardless. House of M. Now this is a really amazing storyline. It's one that sort of rocked the Marvel Universe. This is the one where Scarlet Witch removes mutants from the world. Really, really epic read. Really, really enjoyed that. Haven't read that one yet. That was a recent purchase. I'm looking forward to it though. Kind of got into the Avengers a bit more. I mean, I've got X-Men and Avengers. I'm not a DC boy, but I am a Marvel fanboy, quite big time. Now, the Illuminati, quite an interesting combination of characters. One of my favourite is Doctor Strange. Really, really like Doctor Strange. Civil War, another fantastic one. Probably not as good as House of M, in my opinion. Now, oh boy, Age of Ultron. Now, this is easily, absolutely easily, my favourite graphic novel I've ever bought. I do think Age of Ultron is fantastic. There's Rage of Ultron that's out at the moment as well as a graphic novel of the old school ones. I cannot recommend Age of Ultron enough. It is just I just loved it. It's just such an awesome read that I love Age of Ultron. Then you've got Avengers vs X-Men, another interesting one. Similar to Civil War in some ways, but it's a bit more all-encompassing. It's got the X-Men versus the Avengers, which is pretty damn awesome, without a doubt. I think the artwork's still really good, but I don't think it was quite as good as Age of Ultron, to be honest with you. Age of Ultron, what's the artist's name? Is it Chung or something? What's his name now? Pencilers, oh no, it's a few different ones. By the way, Age of Ultron, if you're into, Marvel, whatever, really need to read that book. It's fantastic. Graphic novel. Now this, believe it or not, this new X-Men, this was actually my very first graphic novel ever. Now we're really going back in time a bit now. We're going back, in fact, I'll just reorganise these slightly. We're really going back in time to an age where I was about 16, 17, maybe 18, 16, 17. And I was actually collecting, you can see, these are all new X-Men. So I've got, there's that Transformers one I was looking for. I knew I had another one, because you see then it folds, I'm going to show you this now. That folds out like that, and you've got that massive sort of montage of them, and then it all goes together, you see. Now, hold on. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it kind of does. It kind of does, hold on. Oh, I thought that all went together. But it doesn't really, because this guy's legs get cut off. So I know that, folks, I'm talking out my bum there, but that's how I remembered it. I could have sworn it went like as a massive picture, but oh well. So this is what I was talking about, the new X-Men. That was a really, really cool series. This is one of those first series that started to introduce Beast, and this is Beast, believe it or not. One of my favourite characters in any X-Men series. They started to introduce his cat-like appearance. Now, for those of you who haven't seen that version, if you bear with me, I mean, a lot of people are kind of used to his kind of X-Men animated cartoon version. Check out that. That's how they made Beast look eventually, and I think they've stuck by it in the recent versions. But I just really, really liked this design of him being more cat-like and feline. Try to see if there's another decent picture of him. I'm not going to show you much, I don't want to put any spoilers in it. There you go, there's another cool one of him. But yeah, New X-Men was one of my favourite comics book series at the time. Now I've got some standalones. For example, I've got number 1 for E is for Extinction, which was a really, really important storyline. But I've also got the graphic novel version of that, which brings together about 4 or 5 episodes, I think. So E is for Extinction is a really, really important one, because it introduces Cassandra Nova, who is a horrible, horrible being that Charles Xavier thought he'd killed in the womb. Yeah, get used to that idea. Death of Wolverine. Now, a lot of hype behind Death of Wolverine. You can see I bought it early before I'd even gone to paperback. To be honest with you folks, some of it was good. Good artwork, all that jazz. But honestly, I thought it was a bit stupid how it ended. It ended so abruptly. They'd hyped it up too much. So, really, Death of Wolverine, as cool as it was in some ways, it just felt rushed, really. And it was quite annoying because I thought, well, I've been waiting for it for ages, and then it was just rushed and it felt daft towards the end. So Death of Wolverine was, unfortunately, a bit of a letdown. Really cool artwork, though. And don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool up until maybe the last episode, last comic. But it just felt rushed at the end. I'm not going to put any spoilers, but I wouldn't recommend Death of Wolverine. Age of Ultron, I can't recommend Age of Ultron enough. This is one that Rose bought me as a little present. So thank you, Rose. It is quite an old one, this. Now, I'm not usually really picky about it. It's got kind of the old style of comic book design. It's not very gritty. It's kind of in the sort of 90s, 80s and 90s style design. But it is a really important storyline, the Age of Apocalypse. And that's actually an alternate future where Apocalypse has taken over, or he's about to take over, and Charles Xavier died. So the timeline's been totally changed. So Age of Apocalypse, I've only read about, I'm reading that one and the Judge Dredd one at the moment, but I really can recommend Age of Apocalypse so far. Not a fan of the artwork, because as I say, it's not as sort of modern looking as the, some of these ones that are up there, but still really worth it, and it's an important one to read to kind of set the scene for a lot of other things. And this is one that I've just kept for years and years. So, if you're watching this, thanks Mum. Once I had my tonsils out, years ago, well, they don't grow back, so I'm only going to have it done once. But I had my tonsils out, got an infection, and I had to stay in hospital for ages. And one of the first thing my mum got me as a little present while I was, suffering in my hospital bed, was this, which is the Essential X-Men. Now, this is a really, really awesome episode that she picked, or, what do I keep saying, episode? What do I mean? Issue, that's the word, issue. Really, really awesome issue. As it's the one where Sabretooth is still trying to be rehabilitated by Charles Xavier, and he's not having none of it, basically, and he's been a bit of a douche. So, Charles is like losing his mind, trying to rehabilitate him. Psylocke gets gutted. I mean, you can see, look at the date on this bad boy. 16th of September, 1998. So, this is we're talking a long, long time ago. Yeah, I was 12 at the time then, so that's kind of interesting. But even though this is sort of, I really like the design on this, because it is still pretty damn gory, even for a kids magazine, or a kids comic, I should say. It's probably, I don't know when was Age of Apocalypse? I was trying to look when originally the Age of Apocalypse came out. Because unfortunately, if Age of Apocalypse would be in this design, it would have been fantastic. But I mean, you can see this is the old Beast, Archangel or Angel. I can't think what he was called now. I know he worked for Apocalypse at one point. Sabretooth, and this is one of an interesting one as well, because it starts to introduce partly the Inhumans and like Caliban as a fight with Sabretooth and loses. But yeah, that's what we're showing you, folks. I thought it's quite cool. I love my little comic book collection. So yeah, that was my comic book collection.